Hey, this is Rahul from RideRahul.com and thanks for all your support over the last 2 years in helping me reach 20,000 subscribers and over 6 million views. Next Sunday, we are finally going to do that subscriber meet that you've all been asking for. So that's gonna be on June 26th. Go over to my Facebook page where you'll be getting all the details of the event. This video is in collaboration with Team Adrenaline. They provided me the R3 in this review, so please go to their Facebook page as well and please give it a like and support them. Both of the Facebook page links will be down in the description below. And now let's get to the review. Before starting this review, I must say that these bikes are nothing alike. I was initially unsure whether we can make a meaningful comparison from the two bikes because if you consider performance, the RC390 is an outright winner. R3 has a slight edge in top speed, but the RC390 is much quicker off the line. It's agile with better stability in the corners, and if you're wanting maximum bang for your buck, the RC offers you a host of features and equipment, whereas the R3 lags behind. But the R3 does have something unique. We could call it refinement, but it's actually much more than that. We won't call it something as vague as charm either. So when I was riding the R3 on the highway, it felt like I was floating. Instead of doing a conventional head-to-head comparison, we will do a discussion and try to understand what the motorcycles have to offer to the prospective buyers. So we are done with our shooting and review of the Yamaha YZF R3 versus the KTM RC390. What we have found after riding these motorcycles for the entire day is that the R3 is a very relaxed bike. Like, it looks like a sport bike, but the handlebars are higher and the seat height with the ergonomics is designed for the comfort. So if you're going to buy a sport bike but then going to take it for tour, then you shouldn't be buying this. You should be on this because this is going to give you that comfort on the highway, and it's so easy. While I was riding on the highway, I was feeling that the R3 is so easy to maneuver and control. Now when you're starting to push things, when you're trying to go for those high lean angles, that's the bike you're looking for. Now if you're thinking that what are the negatives of the R3, well, obviously it's the tires. I don't know why I'm buying a motorcycle worth over 3.5 lakhs and I have MRF tires on it. I mean, they have so many options like Metzeler, Pirelli and Dunlop and all other tire options. It's a 140 rear section tire, whereas the RC is running a 150 rear section Metzeler. So in cornering, the RC's handling and riding posture is more tuned towards the cornering. If you look at the front end, it's more low down on the RC. So when you're riding the RC, you're feeling that you're connecting more with the motorcycle. That helps in the corner. But example, if two RCs were compared side by side and one was running an MRF tire and the other one was running Metzelers, then obviously the RC with MRF tires would also not feel that connected. So it's unfair to compare these two bikes in cornering. The RC wins hands down. But I would really like to see this bike on Metzelers, and then I would like to see what it is in cornering, because while I was pushing it down on the corners, I was feeling that the chassis, the ergonomics, everything was keeping up with me apart from the tires. So I think this bike with those tires will make an awesome combination. That's my thing. Brakes, nice and progressive feel on it, good for beginner riders, but I really found the bite to be lacking. Now these are new motorcycle, maybe the pads will scrub in a little bit, but it's over 500 kilometers run today, so I think that the braking could improve a little bit on this one. So I've already told you the negatives of this. Let's talk about the negatives of that. On the highway, at least, the RC tends to tire you out a lot easier. I was riding it on the track, I loved it there, but on the highway I would rather be on that motorcycle because I could spend 6 to 7 hours touring on that bike and not blink an eye. But on this one, 2.5 hours is fine, 3 hours is okay, but after that you're really pushing it. So it's not really a comfortable motorcycle, and it's for your track, for your city riding. That would be obviously better. This can be managed in the city. This is not at all a touring bike. The suspension setup and the suspension travel on the R3 is also a lot better. So if you're touring, if you're that kind of a guy who wants a relaxed sport bike, if you can pay that higher price, it's great. But of course, when touring comes to the mind, it's obviously the hazardous traffic condition of India, and you have those sudden potholes which appear out of nowhere, and there your ABS comes into play. R3 misses it. The European version has it, but our version and the US version does not get ABS, which makes the RC a winner in that department, at least, because the brakes are better and the ABS is also an added layer of safety and feature. So upside down forks, RC gets a lot of more equipment. It gets the slipper clutch in 2016, but what I'd like to say is the stock clutch on the R3, that's also pretty soft. I mean, it doesn't have the back torque limiting which the RC 2016 has, but for city and highway use, it's a very soft clutch to operate. So for a layman, it wouldn't be that much of a problem that the R3 doesn't have the slipper clutch. Apart from which, everything else looks fine. The fit and finish is great. Look at the R3. It's a really gorgeous looking bike in the falling sunlight, and as I've said, it's a relaxed ergonomics. It's really enjoyable in the city and the highway. The motorcycle feels nimble despite its weight. The RC is obviously the super agile motorcycle, but it does tire you out. So I've talked about that before, and that's where if you say that we don't have that money of the R3, but we want the comfort of the R3 and maybe the safety net of the ABS, and that's when you have this. This is the KTM Duke 390. Obviously, you know that. The 2015 version already got a slipper clutch, you have ABS, you have upside down forks, you have a very relaxed upright sitting position, which means that when you're on the Duke 390, you're paying around 2.2 lakh rupees. You're getting that full comfort. You're getting everything that you'd probably want from a tourer, apart from the fact that obviously the vibrations on the Duke and RC is a little bit more, and the R3 is super refined because it's a multi-cylinder engine. So it's a little bit on the vibey side, but this can do extremely good on the touring. Remember, the shock absorbers of the front is very rough and hard, so that's a hard riding ride quality you have there. But the rear shock absorber, you can adjust it, you can play around with the air pressure a little bit and make it a much more tour friendly riding. So unless you've got the money for the R3 and you're craving for the full fared looks of the R3, if you want a budget tourer, that's your bike, the KTM Duke 390. But if you're in a sport bike sort of a guy, taking it to track, enjoying a little bit of a city riding, this is your bike. So I think from this review you got a very good idea of which motorcycle suits you according to your need. So if you have that budget, you can choose any of the three bikes based on what I've said here. The Duke does good amount of cornering and everything. It's the most balanced package of the three, but it's naked, and a lot of people do not like that styling. So if you enjoyed this review, subscribe to Ride with Rahul, and if you're already a subscriber, like this video and share it in your social media. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. This is Rahul. Goodbye.